Yes, 25 years of marriage is a very long time, but when it's toxic and angry, it feels so much longer. That's how long my parents were married. And because of affairs and abuse, the two struggling pillars I still call mom and dad parted. With all that I had seen, heard, feared, and taken the brunt of, one may think that I was relieved when it all came crashing down. But I was mostly tainted and heartbroken that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't keep my family together. I was 17 and exhausted. It's been my tough experience that when my parents didn't take responsibility for the hurt that happened within and without of the four walls of each house we lived in, I did. I took it all on like a burden that wore me down to my knees. It's been life-altering because the focus had always been what was best to be perceived well, but that wasn't actually the truth of our disintegrating story. I watched my dad verbally, physically, and mentally abuse my mom and my sister, and I felt him do the same with me. I saw my mom swallow bottles of pills to try and escape the mental pain and anguish that was actively going on. I caught my sister as she was pushed away day after day by my dad. I felt the burn of my slapped face time after time. I felt the harsh breeze of doors being closed on the three of us as the man at the helm locked us away. And I experienced the reaction and the rejection of him leaving out another door, choosing to love another family, but not ours. We were in the end all split up and devastated and alone. But do you know what I did as a teenage redhead freckle-faced girl? I begged him to come back, to stay in touch, to tell me he loved me. I didn't even need an apology. I longed for the familiar or maybe to just be wanted. Why am I sharing these things with you? I mean, we all have our own hurts and stories, but part of living in healthy community is learning from one another about how to heal and live in the hope that's beyond what we can imagine and experience on our own. As you are listening and watching in this moment, please hear me say that no matter what you have gone through, or maybe even trudged through, we all need relationships that are life-giving, not life-taking. For most of us, our first relationships were with whomever we called mom and dad. Maybe your memories are of comfort and approval and care and support. That's amazing. Yet I know that even in that, it wasn't perfect because we can't be. And my friend, that doesn't matter. But do you know what does matter? That you know that to someone you do matter. You have value. You are not a mistake. And that when you make a mistake, you are forgiven. Do you know that about you? Do your kiddos know that when you see them, they are being seen not as the problem, but rather your reason to get up every day and fight to show them that you are in your little family unit together? As your child's first glimpse of a relationship, how's it going? Do you know that if it's not going at all like you planned, you can choose to make a pivot and help that relationship go in a totally different direction? How do I know this other than I've been a hurt daughter who forgave without there being an apology? Even with a mind full of vivid flashbacks, I choose not to live as a victim, and the Lord is using my counselor to help me work through all that's been going on and heal in Jesus' name. One of the things that I wanted very most in my life was to be a mom. I wanted the chance to love and hold and nurture and play with children of my own. And you know, I have. But it's not been without the sting of my own trauma being brought into the newness of a once new marriage. In the smoke of what I had experienced has been one diagnosis after another of mental illness, because I just wasn't able to outrun the first 17 years, the beginning of my race that was so very hard. My girls were raised in complete love and have been nurtured, and they have been supported. They've been kissed and held, but at times it's been bittersweet. Quite honestly, because of my body fading from anorexia and depression and self-harm, it's been hard and even toxic at times. I didn't choose to have mental illness, but my relationship with our girls is so important to me that I fight. I fight, and it's ugly and messy, but in that I've gotten to take myself out of the dangerous position of having it all together and point them to the only one who truly does. What are you and your children facing today? It may be something hard that may even feel impossible. It may be consequences of decisions that you have made, but maybe not. Life can just be so hard without reason sometimes, can't it? I want to urge you to, no matter what you may be facing, to tell your kids and show them that they are okay and they're not too much. And then love them to Jesus, the most important relationship to have. You and I, we fail, but the next step is to love them and your relationship with them so much that if you need help in some way, you get that help so that you can get back up. I didn't plan to have mental illness any more than my dad planned to be raised in smoke and beer. My mom didn't know that she was marrying abuse and bringing my sister and I into the big middle of it. But in it all, I needed to be rescued. But since I wasn't, I've asked God to help me be the one to break the vicious cycles so that my daughters can have a little less to carry and their kids will have a little less to carry into their family. With Jesus at the helm, let Him rescue you and set you and your family on the path to health and healing. This is tough stuff, my friends, and I would be lying to say I don't have regrets that I apologize to my girls for over and over. But our children's mercy and grace for us is beautiful and pure. We've just got to start the process of realizing that we can make our connections good ones, solid ones, God-sized ones. So where do you go and how can you start to make these kinds of connections to build good and godly relationships? Relationships which can encourage you, support you, and help you become both the woman and the mom that God has called you to be. If you're not sure where to start, reach out to Arise and let them help you know where to begin. You are worth it, my friend.